Hello everyone and welcome to Château de Montmartin. Today I'm going to share with you some work that I did in the French boudoir. As I have said in a previous video, boudoir in French means a little living room for women to go there and just be upset. So a French boudoir, making it, quoting or stating it in English, we would say it's an upset room. So I'm gonna go to this living room or upset room. I'm currently renovating. I've redone the ceiling. I've sanded the wooden floor. I've sanded the wooden panels. I've painted the wooden panels with some primer. Painted with a primer the window. I've already sanded the future wooden floor. I mean, there are some wooden parts that I'm gonna use to rebuild the floor. So yeah, all of that, I'm gonna guide you now through this little room and show you in, I would say it's basically 1/3 done or maybe halfway done. So it's good to show you this room at this exact renovation state. I'm going to the upset room, the French boudoir. Bouder means whining, being upset. The whining room, this is how I should call it. Walking around my 50 meters corridor takes a bit of time, but I like it. Ta-ta-ta, almost there. This is the old kitchen. I think all of you has recognized it. And behind this door is one entrance, because there is another entrance on the other side of the French boudoir. So it's a bit specific here. Technically speaking, I think I have entered from the right side, because technically speaking, the first half of the room was not a living room. It was simply a place where servants would go down there, because I've closed this part. There was a very old and badly done concrete staircase, which has, from the 70s maybe, which has replaced even much older and original 300 years old wooden staircase that was completely rotten. But I didn't like the access. I didn't like the fact that you basically would use this door and then have kind of only a very small way there to go to a very cramped and kind of wrongly done staircase to go down the caves. The caves, which I may show you there, I don't know if you can see that, but more than 4 meters down there below are my huge, extremely big original wine caves from about the 16th century. I didn't like this setup, so I've decided to close it. Also, another thing was, I wanted to extend the room. The boudoir is kind of small. We're talking about 12 or 13 square meters, and here the doors and the wooden panels that were closing this part were a bit rotten. They were not nice in terms of shape, so I've decided to remove them, and they were not original. They were most probably later on. I don't know what has changed in this room, the way it was redone, but something was wrong, especially because the wooden panels in this room are extremely nice. There is one that is missing over there. I need to rebuild it, obviously. The one on the left looks a bit bended, a bit weird, so I also need to redo that. But look at this wooden pillar, this very structured cornice. All of the panels here, sorry for the scaffolding, so you maybe don't see all of it, but also this very nice and long panels. These are actually very nice wooden panels. What is funny is that I have made them dated from an historian, a local guy, super nice guy, that said that they are older than the one that are in the golden living room. Let me open the door. Here you are in the golden living room, and if you look closely at the wooden panels, they are just different. And these in the Golden Living Room, they are from the beginning of the 18th century. So they are from about 1720, 1730, when this chateau was built. But here, apparently they are more 1690, 1700, maybe 1710 maximum. Basically these things, this one is a good example. The best example being these, actually, maybe a bit hard to see behind the scaffolding. It's a completely different shape from the others. I know it's a bit tricky, I'm going a bit into details there, but basically these are Louis XIV, where the others are Louis XV. So I don't know who ordered that. I don't know if the owner of the chateau, for this very little room, wanted them to be either outdated, old-fashioned, maybe the wife, because this is the living room for the wife. It was made for that. A very little, cozy and nice little living room. And where you could basically have a little couch and take some tea. So either the wife wanted this shape, old-fashioned one, or when they built the chateau, and this actually is a more reasonable explanation, this was still the style that was the normal wooden panel style. We shouldn't think as the construction of the chateau like a modern house. I mean, it took about 20 years to build a chateau like this, easily. So of course, trends, people, workers, sometimes owners would change this time. Actually, I do think it's a father and a son later on that built this chateau. The father started it and then the son continued with it. So it's possible, also because we are on one side of the chateau, that they may have started with this side. They did this kind of paneling and then the trend changed. So that's why the other rooms are completely different. So, in terms of work, because I've opened this room to extend it to about 20 square meters, so yeah, maybe 50% more space, I don't have the same floor here. As you can see, this is the floor that is behind it, original one, that is similar to the one I have in the Golden Room, but I don't have any flooring going up to the door. So, the point was to put some, wooden parts there and finishing the floor, but you would not put some newly made wood. You would see the difference. So I have found in my attic some old wooden parts that I have sanded. And because this wood is super old, slightly too large, I'm gonna maybe cut it into two to have a shape similar to the one currently on the floor in the boudoir. And I'm gonna use it to have the impression, to recreate the impression that the floor was only one part. So this is something I did. Something else I did was sanding, plastering, always the same story, of the ceiling, which was looking completely cracked and horrible, and that is now looking much better. But doing this job, I don't know what happened to me, and because this was done basically between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. in the night, and was after a very long day of work, I forgot. I forgot to fill in two little holes. I don't know if you see them. So everything is plastered, everything is painted, but last moment I just realized I forgot these two little holes. So I'm gonna plaster them, but I don't have the paint, the color anymore. My pot of paint is over. I've used everything for this ceiling. So using another white paint, you will see the difference. So I'm gonna fill in these two little holes and then paint over the whole ceiling, which is not that bad because with only one layer of paint, it's actually on the edge. It's kind of okay, but 95% okay, when I want it to be 100% okay. So I'm gonna repaint it again. So that was some work done. Also here, the wooden panels were a bit rusty, I mean on the edge. So using a lot of glues and a lot of wood and different materials, I have basically saved them. They are almost done. I need to rebuild the part that is missing here, but I have some little twigs and some wooden part that I'm gonna insert there to have them completely fine again. Another thing that was done, I've started to put some, I don't know the English word, sorry for that, some plaster plate that I'm basically not gluing. I mean, it's not exactly a glue, it's a material that is made to make that stick on the wall. Please tell me in the comments the exact word, I just don't know on top of my mind. So the point is, because I'm not fully sure about this very old plaster, that sometimes, here it's fine, but here, listen. Sometimes it just sound empty and I don't want it to crack. So I don't want to put the same nice acrylic material that I've put in the other golden living room. For those who hadn't seen the videos, I'm just gonna show it to you again. Here you are. Here you see the nice yellowish, in French, crépi. Again, put that in the comments. And I don't want to put that on a bad plaster because maybe next year everything will crack, everything will fall off, and the materials that I've put on it will also fall off. So first of all, I'm gonna plaster all of that. It's kind of a huge surface because this ceiling is more than 4 meters high, about 4 meters 15. There is also a big hole here in the ceiling. So I need to put some wood here, I need to put some plaster. There has been a big debate with my girlfriend about having these stones visible, having them visible or not. And I have decided not to. Not to because first of all, I have many other places where you can see the stones because the whole castle is built obviously with this kind of carved stones. So I'm fine, I've got millions of them and I don't like, and please tell me if you are okay with that, I don't like having wooden panels style and next to it stones sealed because I would have to redone the ceiling, sealed properly. I think it just doesn't go well together to have both together. So I do prefer to have exactly what I did in my golden living room, the wooden panel sitting next to a nice flat wall with my acrylic material with sand, very, very small sand in it. I think it just matches much better. So of course I will need to redo all of this part. And another thing I did, when closing this floor, I have put water sewage pipe hidden behind it, and here I've dug a hole, a big hole to have my water pipe going out. One last thing that we did, because we wanted to have this room very authentic, because we kind of think it's a very special little living room, very much original, very old wooden panels. And because we have electricity on the other side here, as you can see here, there are some electricity running over. I'm gonna put one light over there, something of course very chateau-like, so with bronze and something, yeah, just something very nice looking, but probably with only one bulb of light, one of the right, one of the left, and no electricity for the chandelier that will hang over there on the ceiling. A chandelier only with candle lights. Yes, I'm a bit crazy, but I wanted to go because I have it. I found it in the attic. I have polished it and I'm gonna record it with a video to you right now. I thought, let's go for that. Let's go just a bit crazy. And here we are. Yes, there is a lot of mess all around, but here we are. This is something I've polished, trying to polish it nicely. There will be some nice candlelight stick pointing out to the ceiling, and I just think it will look nice. It's something that was designed for it. This has no electricity. If you look at the way it hangs on the ceiling, so this is basically hanging on the ceiling. This hook over there, this hook is not closed. This hook is specially made to hang the thing, but to allow you with a big, I don't know exactly how they do it, but with a big hook from the bottom to remove the chandelier easily from the ceiling, simply to switch on the candle lights. Otherwise, you would need to use basically a ladder or something to go up and light up the lights. But of course, we're not gonna use it. Too risky, I think, because I don't like fires. Fire and chateau just doesn't cope together. So now what we're gonna do is that the two lights that I'm gonna add on the left wooden panels that I've presented before, they will be very powerful and light up the whole room. That's the point. So this chandelier will only be there for decoration, but in theory, and that's why I really like it, in theory, it can completely be used because you can remove it from the ceiling, light up the candle, put it back, or actually they would also remove it to clean it, to remove the wax that has melted all over it. So yeah, it is a proper element from the time, and I'm really happy to have it back in this little French boudoir. Thank you for watching. Please, if you like this video, subscribe and stay tuned. A lot is coming on the chateau renovation, and a lot is coming on the renovation of Château de Montmartin. Bye bye.